Welcome back to Hardiman House, an urban oasis that expands the mind, feeds the spirit, and restores the soul. We are so glad that you have returned, and we are eager to present you Season 2 of Let the Ancestors Speak. This season, we are going to concentrate on what the ancestors have to say to us about how to live in pandemic times. So what better place to start than in my backyard? The Hardiman House Backyard is a place where I come in the morning to have tea, to relax, to meditate, to organize my life and to ask the ancestors for directions. It is a place that is both a garden of delight as well as a meditation shrine. So, let me first show you the garden. The Hardiman House garden, which we call the Hardiman House Farm, consists of 4 tomato plants, 4 zucchini plants, 4 stalks of corn, and multiple herbs and variations of kale, i.e. 2. The Hardiman House tomatoes produce bounty each day. I love to come out in the morning and reach down and pull up a tomato to eat with my lunch. After I get a delicious tomato from my tomato farm, I walk down to my zucchini farm of 4 plants and get zucchini to go with my tomato for my salad. Next to the zucchini is the cornfield. And the cornfield has 4 stalks of corn, and at some point, we're going to be able to have roast corn at Hardiman House. Central to the Hardiman House backyard is this palm tree. Palm trees were symbols of homecoming. That's why they always lined promenades where the soldiers would walk down after a war, because they were like celebrating the victory and celebrating and welcoming them home. On the south end of the Hardiman farm, we have our kale plants that go with our salad, with our tomatoes and our zucchini, and we have herbs. In our herb garden, we are featuring 2 herbs this season. First herb is rosemary, and rosemary is really good for the memory, and so it's really good for clarity. So it's like calling upon those vibrations when we're sitting here. And then we have peppermint. And peppermint is really good for clarity, and it's also good for indigestion. Now, one of the things about herbs is we have to understand is that, of course, the use of herbs went way, way back. In fact, in ancient Egypt, they used rosemary, and they would break it, and they would put sprigs of rosemary in the tombs and on the mummies, as an indication that they were going to remember those people and remember their names. And peppermint was used in teas in order to do herbal remedies in Ancient Kemetic. And in fact, one of the reasons why there was no mention of scurvy at all in the skeletal remains of ancient Egyptian mummies until the invasion of the Greeks and the Romans was because they regularly practiced using herbal medicines. In fact, when they built the pyramids, it's written down in the records that everyone who built the pyramids was given a clove of garlic, a loaf of bread, and beer every day. And that's because they knew that all of those contained yeast, and yeast contained ingredients for penicillin. So they used herbs as natural antibodies while they were building these great pyramids. And note, the pyramids were not built by the Hebrews. The Hebrews didn't enter Egypt or Kemet until the middle period. The pyramids were built in the old period, over 1,000 years before the arrival of the Hebrews. Because how the pyramids were built, and this is really important, is that the pyramids were built during the times of the floods. When the land would flood, nobody could do any work. So people would go off as a way of public service, as a way of community service, and work on these community service projects to show the genius of the spiritual technology that existed in Egypt. After I finished touring the Hardiman estate, I usually sit down and have some tea, and I think and I meditate. And this is my meditation wall. This is the collection of art objects that were given to me, and a collection of symbols that were important to me that I have arranged as an installation so that it becomes a kind of mantra. And what it says is, humankind, this piece was a piece of driftwood, but it looks like a man. Humankind was asking about how to work and be in the world, and this is a world piece that was that I really love, and then given to me by Benita Horn, and then so the humankind is asking the world, what should I do? And the world says, and the spirits who surround the human beings, the Buddha that represents ancient spirituality, the symbols of the Sankopa, the sun, all say to the human being, Sankopa, go back and fetch it. This piece that was created by Eric Perry symbolizes that great prosperity that comes when you go back and you embrace your history. So I sit in my backyard and I think about the bounty of my garden. And I think about the richness of my life. And I give thanks. I give thanks. I give thanks. So what is the ancestral lesson in the garden and the memorial shrine? I believe that what the ancestors want us to know about how to deal with these times of pandemic is for us to be able to take time to reflect on our blessings, to not get concerned about quantity, but to understand about quality. I don't have to have thousands and thousands of plants to basically be able to nurture and feed my family and have enough for neighbors. And so I and the ancestors say to you, it's important to give blessings every day. It's important to be thankful, and it's important to understand that our ancestors gave us skills, gave us food, gave us wisdom in order for us to move forward. Remember, like, share, subscribe.
Please, oh please, wear blue and green so flowers can bloom and birds can sing today. Hang out with your friends, cool breeze and sun, and I'ma join y'all so we can all have fun today. And dry my clothes while I run through these sheets like I'm 5 years old today. You got that natural wood grain with that big old fro. Your fresh 15s got me riding low today. Smile